Trigger warning. It's pretty much my life. It's pretty much how my brain works. Put a finger down if you don't have a sister, but you created a Twitter account acting like your younger sister and called it Nagayama Koharu. And then when you became a very famous manga creator, you tried to create a Twitter account under your own name, but Elon kept banning you for impersonation. And so you tried to convince the entire world that you are exactly who you say you are. Yahoo! This is future editing Elisa, and I just have to correct a few things. He started being on Twitter under the pseudonym Koharu because he was impersonating being the younger sister of Tatsuki Fujimoto, creator of Chainsawman. And he started posting things like sharing the manga and sneak peeks and things like that. So Twitter thought that it was like some troll impersonating him, so they banned the account. So then Tatsuki Fujimoto made another account under his own name, but because it was a brand new account, even though he was like posting tweets like this, like, I really am Fujimoto Tatsuki, please believe me, thank you. Or, I don't know if it's proof, but the funniest manga this year was Welcome Alice. How was it? Or, I don't know if this is proof, but my favorite Ghibli movies are Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away. My favorite Ghibli documentaries are Arigato Lassiter and Ponyo Dekiru Teo, which, Until I Create Ponyo. Yeah, I gotta stop reading the Google Translates and just read it myself. I've been bitten by a dog that has both arms. It's Tatsuki. I'm Tatsuki. Chainsaw Man's, like unusable, like botched information, unusable botched info. I hope this proves that I am who I say I am. I'm a Libra. And so you try to convince the entire world that you are exactly who you say you are, and your fan base memes on you with a character you created. Tatsuki Fujimoto is the creator of Chainsaw Man, and this video is supposed to be about how I read every single one-shot by him, but turns out I missed a few. Sorry. But I am going to talk about the ones that I did read. I'm going to review them, and I'm going to give you my top 3 must-read works by Tatsuki Fujimoto. And then I will go and eventually I will finish Chainsaw Man. And maybe I'll take a peek at Fire Punch as well. Let me know if you want to know more about those. We are starting with 1721. These are one-shots that got published later in life, but he wrote them when he was of the ages 17 to 21. First story is Niwa Niwatori ga ita. It's like a play on words. He's such a weirdo. I love it. Niwatori ga ita. Niwa, yard, lawn. Niwa, 2. Niwatori, chickens. Japanese humors. A couple clucking chickens were still kicking in the schoolyard. This, long story short, is a story of a world, an Earth where aliens took over and the human race is basically almost extinct. Aliens decided that they really liked the way that the humans lived, so they started just living like them. And so yes, these human-eating aliens are now living on Earth, riding our trains, going to our schools, and feeding their little chickens in the yard, because that's something that Japanese schools often do, is that they'll have gardens and barnyard animals so that the kids have responsibilities and stuff. And then you find out that these chickens are not quite chickens at all. I absolutely loved this story. This was my first story that I was reading from him, and at first I was like, wow, this is really weird. But then it ended up having a very, very deep narrative on humanity, and I ended up really liking it. So I would say out of the Tatsuki Fujimotos, I would give this one 4 stars. And it would actually be number 3 in my top 3. The next one is Sasaki-kun ga juran tometa. Sasaki-kun stopped a bullet, and the story starts in this classroom. Sasaki-kun is a student, and he is in love with his teacher. And then one day, a man comes in holding a weapon, and he threatens the teacher, and he says, because of you, I wasn't able to achieve my dreams. And she's like, I'll do whatever you want, please just don't hurt the students. What do you want from me? And he says, sleep with me. Now, Sasaki-kun is livid. He's like, no, not the purity of my teacher. And it's weird. It's a weird story, but it's actually really good. And it's a story about going for your goals, because nothing in this world is 0%. Even what is perceived to be virtually impossible or very highly unlikely. And it's just a really good story. 4 stars, and my number 2 pick, actually. Now keep in mind that I'm not telling you the entire story because I really want you to read it. If you want an in-depth analysis recap, then I'm happy to do that. But in this video, I just want you to hear a little snippet and maybe read it for yourself. Next is Koi wa Momoku. Love is Blind, and this story was actually really cute, and I wish I had room for it in my top 3, but I actually opted for the more deeper meaning one-shots. But Love is Blind is really cute. It's literally about the last day of school. This boy wants to confess to this girl, and literally nothing is gonna get in his way, even an alien invasion or a mugging. The last one was Shikaku. I didn't really like this one. It was cute and funny, I guess, in its own way, but it was pretty dark and gory, about a girl who is the best assassin in the world, and she gets hired to kill an unkillable man. My nose is runny. Next series collections of one-shots is 22 to 26, and starting with Ningyo Rhapsody. Mermaid Rhapsody is a story of a boy who lives in a world where mermaids are said to eat people. And he has a very special ability of being able to play the piano underwater. He goes down there, even against his dad's wishes, against his father's warnings of going into the water, of avoiding mermaids. He goes and he starts playing this beautiful song underwater, and then a mermaid shows up. This story was weird. I don't know if it was sweet. I don't really remember a lot of the details, and I don't really remember feeling anything but weird. So I give this one a 2-star. I also didn't rank the other ones. I'm going to say the Assassin one is also going to be a 2-star, and then the Love is Blind is a 3-star. Mega sametara onnanoko ni natte woke up as a girl syndrome. This one also was weird. It was sweet. It's basically about a boy that's in a relationship with a girl, but then he wakes up a girl. And so now, does their love change? Is their dynamic different? And kind of navigating that. And I think it's actually a really good story. It just maybe was too much about adult themes that I couldn't really connect with the characters. I don't know. I just didn't resonate with me that much. I'm going to give it a 2-star. But I think it's a really important story, especially about identity and what it means to be a boy, what it means to be a girl, etc., which I thought was good. I just didn't, it wasn't like, it was very thought-provoking. All of his stories are good. That one just didn't resonate with, that one just wasn't, I don't, Yogen no Nayuta, Nayuta's Prophecy. This is a story of a brother and a sister. What do you do when there's a prophecy saying that your younger sister is going to destroy the world? And what does it mean to still be an older brother unconditionally? This actually was very good. I would give it 3 stars. It was just scary. And Imoto no Ane is a story of 2 sisters competing against each other. The older sister always trying to be better than her younger sister, maybe having a little bit of jealousy towards her sister, but her younger sister always just chasing after her older sister, trying to be just like her. And it's actually a very good story. It's just got nudity. It's a weird dynamic. And I couldn't get past it. Even though the story and the meaning was very good, something about it was kind of icky. And that might just be me being immature. I don't know. Let me know what you think. That one's gonna be... I really want to give it a 3-star for story, but minus 1 star because I'm pretty sure Fujimoto was an adult and was drawing nudity of girls that were in high school. I might be wrong. Fact check me. Please prove me wrong, and then I can give that star back. The last one that I read is called Look Back, and this one was extra special because I believe he wrote it after a big earthquake, triple disaster that happened in Japan, and he went on a volunteer trip with his art school to go help clean gutters so that the plumbing and the sewage and everything could work again in these towns. And they spent hours and hours and hours every single day shoveling the dirt out of the gutters, and yet they weren't making a dent. And him and the other students were thinking, like, what is the point of what we're doing here, and what is the point of what we're doing in the world in the grand scheme of things when people died and those people will never come back? And he was questioning, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? What is my purpose? And so to try to figure it out, To kind of make sense of his purpose and his reason for drawing, he wrote this story. And this one wrecked me. It was very simple. One thing I'll say about him is he is very funny. He likes to put humor onto very dark and deep and very real topics, which I really love and appreciate. But for the most part, his other stories are there's either some kind of like fantasy aspect to them, aliens, vampires, mermaids, whatever. And there's also a lot of violence in a lot of them. But this story was very, very simple. It almost felt like a diary. And it follows the story of a girl who draws manga for her school newspaper. And everybody in the class, everybody in the school is like, "You're so good at drawing." One day, another student publishes a manga in the school newspaper. And the art, it's mostly scenery, background work, but it's amazing, and it's much better than hers. Her art is not that great, but she writes funny stories and skits. There's actual characters and dialogue. And so she feels like a green-eyed monster, the jealousy, the envy that this person is so good. And on top of that, this student doesn't even come to school. This student is a recluse. And one day, after years of being in this imaginary competition with this student who she's never met, she graduates high school, and the teacher asks her to bring the diploma to the student who she's been competing with all these years. And she's irritated because she's like, "Why should I have to bring this to him? It's not my fault. He doesn't come to school. I don't even know the guy." And so she does. And I don't really want to spoil too much, but it's a really, really beautiful story. It wrecked me. I cried. I recommended it to 2 of my other family members. They enjoyed it. It just hit to me all the simplicities of being a human, being an imperfect person. Very simple, very vulnerable, very well-written story. And let me know if you read it, and let me know if you cried. I want to share this one panel in the story, and it's not a spoiler, but when the main character finds out that this recluse, this person who doesn't even come to school, is so good at drawing, she starts to become obsessed with learning how to draw and getting better at drawing. And she starts studying. She starts reading books. She starts watching videos. She starts doing everything she can to learn how to draw better. And I love this panel, and it really spoke to me because it says all these things like learn anatomy, learn technique. But the most important tip was just draw. Duh. And I feel like that's so true of anything you want to get better at, of anything you want to start, is to just do it. And this YouTube video and me coming back to social media and all that is really just about that. If this is truly my dream, if my dream is to really make YouTube videos that share my passions and my culture, and to connect with people that are otakus just like me, and to one day be a writer, a storyteller myself, then the most important thing is to just create, just make YouTube videos. Just write stories. And so it really personally spoke to me. This is if you haven't guessed already, it's my top 1. And I give it 5 stars. So let me know if you've read any of them. Also, if you've seen Fire Punch. Is it worth a look-see? And I'll see you in the next video. I have to pee.